'cause here comes the award-winning Ukulele Underground podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ukulele Underground Podcast Live. My name is Aldrine Guerrero. Joining me, Mr. Aaron, the voice, Nakamura. Say what's up, Aaron.
What's up?
And Mr. Kahai, the legend for it off screen. Say what's up, Kahai.
What's up?
And special guest, Mr. Charlie Brown, Shadow Strum himself, Mr. Kyle Ferruccio. Hey, welcome, Kyle Ferruccio. We were hanging out last night. I'm like, hey, Kyle, what are you doing tomorrow? You're not doing nothing,
podcast.
Right? Yeah, just come to the podcast. We just come hang out and stuff. People be asking questions. We answer those questions. I give you my 2 cents. These other 3 guys are going to give their 2 cents. We're going to give you the best 8-cent answer. It's a little bit more expensive today. It's usually 6-cent answers that we give here on the podcast. But today, 8 cents. We got 2 more. But with Kyle, it's probably gonna be a nickel, man. You have some you went to school,
Yes.
right?
I in the title of the in the title of the live stream, I made it. We're talking to a gigging musician.
Yeah.
Gigging. So if you guys ever had
Real life.
gigging musician.
Right? You gigged in the mainland, you gigged here, you gigged on the Wahoo. You're like, you're a well-seasoned like music. If you were a cast iron, you would have made lots of steaks in you already, and you're very delicious to cook in. Well-seasoned cast iron musician. This guy.
Just no other place would hire me. That's why.
After every show, I rub down Kyle with olive oil.
Yeah.
Put him back in the oven. That's what it means, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And I get excited, like I come home with a chuck steak ready to cook, and Kyle, we're like, oh man, Kyle's already smothered in that olive oil from last time.
It's perfect smoking point. Right?
Yeah. You know when I got my cast iron, because my friend told me to go get one, and I was like, I wasn't familiar with it. He's like, his advice was just feed it dead animals. I'm like, what?
Not wrong.
Like, yeah. I'm like, I don't get it, and then now I get it. I'm like, oh yeah, feed it dead animals. That cast iron is gonna season itself with some dead animals. It's amazing. For all you vegans out there, I apologize, but meat's delicious. But whatever, to each his own.
Yep. Yeah. Sorry.
Less
Right.
cast iron.
Yeah, you cook with cast iron?
I don't cook.
You don't cook?
I like to eat.
Oh, yeah, you do.
I like to eat good food. So I let other people cook. Other people cook the food.
You should come over. But I've gotten better at cooking. You should come over.
Oh, it was good
sometime.
before.
Yeah. Dude, I started making bread recently.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, this weekend I made some pan de sal this weekend. Just plain pan de sal, but I think this week I'm gonna try some ube with some halea inside. It's gonna be amazing, man. So feel free to come over and have a matcha with some pan de sal.
That sounds great.
You had my
How long
matcha
is this
last
podcast?
Thanks, everybody. That was great.
I think they clicked off on the cast iron thing.
But now that we've established Shadow Strum is here, Kyle Ferruccio is here. There's more there's more opinions that you guys can ask from, right? So we are live. So type in the chat what your question is. We answer any and all of your questions. Sometimes we get questions via email prior to the show. Sometimes we get messages through Ukulele Underground Plus. Sometimes we get it live. But yeah, just ask away and we'll try to answer any and all of your questions. So, I mean, we prefer them to be ukulele related, but it doesn't matter, right, Kyle? We can answer any kind of questions, like yard work, if you want to, ask Kyle some yard work questions. He's been on it with yard work, right?
I've learned so much about grass. It's not even funny. I've learned more than I wanted.
The difference between Bermuda and anything else?
Yeah. We actually do have a question specifically for Kyle. From
nice.
A big fan.
Okay. Go ahead, big fan.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
So this question is from Mickey Otto, I think.
Yeah.
And they're hypothetically speaking, say you just committed a crime and your power steering is broken. How do you escape law enforcement? Purely hypothetical.
Oh, yeah. From Mickey Otto.
Yeah.
Mike Otto.
I'm not answering this question. Not that I know or anything. It's just, what do you... I mean, like, okay, like what kind of crime are we talking
I
about?
mean, just what are some of the crimes you committed in the past? just pulling from the top. You gotta pull from
Hypothetically,
experience.
what is-
hypothetically,
Hypothetically.
what are some crimes that you've?
if there's
you've
extra
committed?
weight in the trunk, just
Yeah, your power steering's broken. How do you get away from law enforcement?
no idea. You got me. How do you get away from law enforcement?
No, they're asking you. You're a guest now. you know?
Hypothetically speaking, your power steering is broken, so you keep the fluid in your car for when you're stopped and to refill.
I mean, it just power
Hypothetically.
steering just makes it, just makes it so that you can steer better. You can still steer, just terribly.
Yeah, we talked about this
Yeah.
last night.
You just get it up to speed, and then you can turn a little better.
Okay. Okay. Like, what's a comfortable speed? Because too fast, you can't turn that great.
I
right?
mean, like, I don't know, approximately 38 miles an hour. But that's just a guess.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay,
So
okay.
not like police cars can go 38 also, right? What's your
mean,
plan?
like-
do you have like extra clothes and wigs in the car so that you're when
Jump
the
in the
cop
passenger seat?
when the cop pulls you over, you're like, oh, I don't know who's that, Kyle Porusio.
Are we talking like regular like traffic cops, or they're like on horses, or like what are we talking
Yeah.
about? Like,
I don't know, but I figured you had costumes. You would put on your Jollibee hat, and like you're like, oh, I'm going to work now, giving the chicken joy to the people, right?
Wait a minute, we don't have a Jollibee on Kauai.
Oh, damn! Get caught right away, right away. Okay, yeah. Hopefully that answers your question, Mickey Otto.
We actually did. So while we were hanging out last night,
Yeah.
another fan, Mike Odo, asked, really did want
no relation.
really did want to know. He said, like, people will probably want to know from a gigging musician, how do you make your set list? How did you come up with your set
That's
list?
a good one. Yeah.
Do you want to give an example of what
Yeah,
your set
what
list
you do?
would be?
Yeah.
Okay, so for my set, so I'm playing only at Kalapaki Joe's, which is like a sports bar right now. So at that one, I guess it's kind of just like after like a few weeks, I kind of gauge like what kind of crowd normally comes in around, I don't know, 5 o'clock. And so I started off with like classic rock or like stuff that people kind of recognize. So actually my first song in the set is the Pina Colada song.
Nice.
Because it's just like a
Is it
nice
mostly tourists?
mostly tourists, and then I have some locals come in, but it's since it's Kauai and we're on the south side, it's like a lot of country. So like there's
Yeah, it's true.
there's a lot of country around like 5:30, 6 o'clock, because then that's when they're all getting off from work, getting to the bar.
Oh, interesting.
And then after maybe around like 6:30, 7 o'clock, that's when it's like I can kind of feel out like the crowd. So I don't know. Like I'll play like
So Pina Colada, and then
so Pina Colada, and then like I don't know, like Brandy.
Nice.
So like the easy listening kind of songs.
Yeah.
But then towards the end is like I can kind of ramp it up, just because it's I've got a good crowd. Like whoever was going to dinner already left. People that are kind of staying for the evening, they're gonna be there.
yeah.
I think when we hung out, didn't you say like you played Jimmy Buffett and like the crowd went crazy or something?
Oh yeah, that one's like
I went Margaret.
Like, I'll play-
which Jimmy Buffett song?
All
So
of the
it-
Jimmy Buffett.
The
Let's
first
just
two
go
albums.
yeah. So like I do like I'll go from like 5 o'clock somewhere
Nice.
into Margaritaville.
Nice.
And depending on who's there, it can get pretty like if they're parrot heads or whatever,
Yeah.
then they'll join in.
It's
If
like-
not, then it's a nice atmosphere song, just because you can see the beach from the bar and
Nice.
everything. So it's just a nice.
So it's like people walked in and it's like certified parrot head shirt, and you're like,
Yeah,
okay, I know what my
I
set
got
list
you.
is.
I got you. Yeah.
They brought in their own margaritas.
Man, the difference between you and I is you actually play what the crowd wants to hear. I'm just like, nope, you're stuck in here with me and you're listening to what I want to play.
I mean, like those are songs like I'd want to sing too.
yeah.
But it's like I'll try to be like, okay, what's a good middle ground, and then kind of share that.
Yeah, that was another question that Mickey, from
Mickey
last
Otto.
night.
No relation.
Yeah. They asked like, how do you deal with song requests, and specifically like song requests that you don't necessarily know?
Oh, I just say absolutely not. I'm just kidding.
No, hate that song. Next.
Because like I know what Aldrine's wording and like his phrasing would be for like a song.
Yeah.
Like a song request comes in, maybe they already threw money in
Yeah.
the bucket, and but then how do you deflect, or
Yeah.
like if you don't know anything, or
Play Thunderstruck. Play Thunderstruck.
Yeah,
What
or
do you-
would you
how do
look
do,
up-
How do you deal with
Yeah,
it?
so I guess it depends on who's asking the request. Like if it's a little kid, like that's not fair. Because like I'm like
Oh, yeah.
9
No, I
times
turn
out of 10,
kids down all the
I
time.
have no idea. And
I have
then
no
so,
idea how many people have asked for the lava song, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, and then like I think kids are the hardest because it's like they like genuinely want it. Like
Yeah.
not to say that adults don't, but it's like like an innocence in their question. And so those are the hard, because like if it's not, I'm like, I'm so sorry, I don't like, I'll try to get down on their level, say, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Somebody said you do it like Alexa, where it's like, sorry, I don't know that one.
Yeah, well, you just be honest, right? Like the way that I do it. If somebody asks, I'm just like, I don't know. Is there anything else from that artist that you wanna, because if I at least know the artist, I'll ask like anything else from that, like, because if they drop the money already, then you feel bad, you know what I mean? Because it's like they requested something, they prepaid before even asking if we know it or not, and we're not the type of musicians that have like iPads and iPhones, so we either know it or we don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if they ask for something and I don't know it, I'm like, ooh. Usually I try to like make some kind of excuse, like I don't know all the words to it, so like, and I don't want to like, I don't want to play it kind of half, like halfway or whatever. So I just asked them, is there anything else like that you want to hear? And then they're like, oh, keep going, keep going. And then if there's absolutely nothing, I'm like, I'm so sorry. You can take it if you want to grab your tip back. I always just give them a choice.
Yeah.
But usually they're like, nah, it's okay, just play whatever you want.
Yeah. Like I'll like if they come up with like 2 more songs or artists that I don't know, then I'll try to think of like, okay, what, like if I don't know it, I'll be like, okay, what's similar?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
go laterally,
that
like,
too. Yeah.
Yeah, like a lot of people ask for, like I don't know, like the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't
Same.
even if I did,
Yeah.
like it wouldn't sound good. So I'll be like, I don't know, like Eagles, like the Beatles,
James
something.
Taylor.
Yeah.
Is there any songs that when people ask, you're like, oh, I do know it, but
Yes.
it's
Oh yeah.
It's always
which one?
It's always Freebird, because I feel like that's like stock standard heckling.
Yeah.
Freebird, Wonderwall, or like.
How do you deflect Freebird? How do you deflect
So
Freebird?
deflect. So the way I deflect it, so it's usually when I'm playing something, people go Freebird, and then I'll kind of stop whatever I'm singing, and I'm gonna go. It's usually the line is like, one day I'm actually gonna learn Freebird, and you're gonna be sorry.
No, you just say that'll be $200.
Yeah.
or like, you don't actually want to hear that song. It's like 13 minutes. No one got time for that song.
Well, and I
That's
guess
usually what I'll say.
again, like it's usually like who asks,
Yeah.
because it's usually like the regulars that come in, and then they're just
Or
being
like,
jerks.
okay, well, we'll play it and then you sing it because we don't know the lyrics. So come up here and sing that. So like, no, and they're like, oh, well, then never mind it. I always try to like flip the gun back or flip the barrel. Like, oh, now you're on the barrel.
Yeah, I think the hardest ones are like when, like, I mean, I'm not saying it's all the people that drink, but it's usually the people that have been drinking for a while.
Yeah.
They come up and they try to like, oh, like you should play this song. Like try to like make the set. You know what I mean? Like basically like playing
That
like
so much.
like give me the aux chord
that so
to your
much.
set.
It's like going to Burger King. You're like, hey, you should flip those fries like this. Like nobody else gets told like how to do their
Yeah,
job. You know
yeah,
what I
and
mean?
it's
like, yeah.
And that one's hard because it's like you can't really say anything,
Right.
Because they've they're kind of locked in.
And I hate that. Why? What do you mean you don't know this? Whatever, like said song. Like,
yeah. Or they insist that you know it.
like, come on,
Yeah.
you know it. It's
a
classic.
We get that a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause, like,
hate it
it's
so much.
And again, like if you don't like if it's somebody you don't know,
yeah,
like you never really know where the line is between like playful banter and then like sudden confrontation.
yeah.
Like which that's like I'm just trying to do my job.
All right,
You know what I mean?
here's my question. It's related, okay? And this happened to us recently. What do you do like say somebody like a regular like at the bar, right? And regular, but you're not like friends with, but you see them all the time at the bar, right?
Okay.
Now, that's
Yeah, they
anyone
come
that
to your show.
Yeah, they come
but
to your show.
They're not really your
but they're not your friend.
friend
Yeah,
or
like,
anything.
but you
Okay.
know them and
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
talked to them and like, oh hey, you know, whatever, like because they've come up to you and said like, hey, good show, and that's it, and, you know, like, but that's other than that, you've never really exchanged words. Okay, so I don't know, they drink a little bit too much and they want to go and grab your tip jar so that they can pass it around the bar, like so that you would get more tips. Like they feel like they're helping you out, right?
Okay.
How do you react? Somebody grabbing your tip, your hard-earned money for like, say the show ended, right?
Yeah.
And then this person comes up, puts some tip in the tip jar, grabs it, and like, I'm gonna go around and like collect money from.
By the
people.
way,
Yeah.
people, please do not do that ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Even if you think that it's a good idea,
It's
don't
not.
do it.
Do not
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
it. Just it's like touching people's money. That's like, you just don't. It's not your money. Like, so how do you deal with it?
So yeah, I guess I'll always try to deflect with humor.
Yeah.
Just because I think that's like my nervous response.
Yeah.
But and so like, actually, this has happened to me,
Yeah.
and I think my response was just like, "Hey man, you got to put that down. This isn't church. Like you can't you can't just go around like
nice.
asking
It's
for
a good one. It's a good
offerings.
one.
You know,
It's a good one.
good
That
one.
works. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm sure that works.
Good answer.
No, but like, okay, so, but you know, what if they're like, no, I'll get you more, you know, like, cause so you try to deflect it. They're like, cause I think I attempted to kind of deflect it, but then they're like, no, I'll get you more tips. So then they proceed to maybe walk away with your money. When you do that.
I think then like, then I'll just like, well, so it'll be like, so it starts off with like pure humor,
Yeah.
and then like passive humor. So it's like,
Okay.
so my tip jar's name is Philip,
Yeah.
like Philip the jar.
Okay.
And then so I'll be like, please put Philip down.
Yeah.
And then like,
Okay.
yeah, and then slowly, and if it gets to that point where they're not listening, then I'll go off mic.
Yeah.
And then just kind of go up and say like, hey.
Ooh, you go off mic. Okay.
Well, because like
All
at
right.
that point is like if I'm not talking into the mic. So
Yeah.
like if I'm talking into the mic,
Yeah.
it's kind of like the signal like okay, like I'm still okay with it.
Yeah.
But then like if I have to, you know, kind of push the mic aside and be like, please, you know, put it down. Like I'll try to be polite about it.
Yeah.
And then like, but let them know they're like, okay, like
Yeah.
like I don't like this, please, you know,
Yeah.
put it down. And then at that point it's like I think it's never gotten past that point. But I feel confident like with the rapport I've built with like the workers.
Yeah.
That is like
Yeah,
they'll
yeah,
kind of
that's
step in.
true, it's
Yeah,
true,
yeah.
it's true. Yeah.
Because at that point it's like, okay, like I'm working with the restaurant and then
Yeah.
so they're gonna kind of come in. You know, same
Yeah.
thing like if I saw people like at the bar just
Yeah.
kind of being, you know, whatever,
Yeah.
and then so I'll go onto the mic and say like, you know, please don't do that. So like there's like a back and forth there. But luckily it hasn't gotten to that point. Usually it kind of stops with the first, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I found like if people like because they want to have, you know, like some like they're trying to be funny, but then if I draw the attention onto them, it's like all of a sudden it's like, you know, they kind of get like stage fright. They're like, oh, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
put the thing down.
Yeah, you
Yep.
would think. No, I mean, so it's happened to me tons.
If they're
Like, not
drunk
just-
enough.
Yeah, it's not just once or twice or
Yeah.
even 5 times. It happens a lot.
Yeah,
happens-
it happens quite
And
a bit.
Oasis, you know, when it happens now, like the Oasis people like are aware that like if I, you know, like if it gets to a point, I'll just say security and they'll come. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like somebody will come. That's when they know I'm like no
Yeah.
longer joking. You know what I mean? So I do have. I mean, it's not even like a safe word. It's straight up calling some kind of security to come in and grab somebody. Because you don't. Once again, audience, you never, ever, ever, ever touch like somebody else's tip jar. Like you don't. You know what I mean? Like you don't unless you're putting money inside. You're like unless you're grabbing it so you can, you know, like you can safely put the money inside. But then that's it. And let go. You know, you never grab it ever. Just ever. Don't.
Yeah.
You know.
Or even jokingly.
Or or even jokingly. It's just not a joke. Okay, you just never grab it. So sometimes there'll be like a drunk person that comes up and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna like people should be tipping you more." So like I'm gonna walk around every table, and even that like just doesn't sit right with me. Even if it's okay
Yeah.
to like
Yeah.
you know to take the tip jar. Say say we forget about that first part and it's okay to, it's still not okay to go around and beg people for more money. You know?
Yeah,
It just-
if they want to give you tips, they will.
They would.
Yeah.
It's just that like the people who wanted to give have already given. Like I don't care. Like people can come to that establishment, listen to the music, and not feel like they have to pay for like you know for listening to you. Like I don't ever want to give anybody that impression that you have to like give us money. You
Right.
know?
And especially like because maybe like so like you know aside of like the you know passing around the tip jar or whatever grabbing it's like some people don't carry cash nowadays and like so they want a tip but then like if you know like they feel like oh it's only cash then they might feel a little guilty about it and like they're like oh well we really like you but we don't have cash.
Yeah.
And I mean so that's like another thing that it's like it could all be avoided is like if you just leave the tip jar alone.
Yeah.
Just don't, because like I mean I'll turn it into a joke but that's only because at that point it's like okay well I could either you know try to joke about it hopefully it stops or just kind of address it right there.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm gonna go back because even if you're, I mean, if we're friends, you should just know not to do that. You know what I mean? Like but. You know, even if we're friends and you took the tip jar, I would still be like, dude, don't like just put it back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like,
I
because
would
like
be-
100 things could go wrong.
Yeah.
Like even if you had the best intentions.
Yes.
Like you don't know who else is out in the audience who would just, grab it and
run away.
run.
You know?
Exactly.
So you know, like I just, but I would be a little bit more lenient if it was like a friend, like no, don't touch. You know, like, just put it down.
But
dude.
then
it's fine.
at
you
that
know?
point, it's like the rest of the people don't know that you guys are friends. And so they could
That's
think
true.
like, oh, maybe it's just some other guy, so it's okay. They'll come up.
Yeah, so I, you know, like this past one was over at Johnny's. Like we played at this place called Johnny's Wings and Things, and the guy had good intentions. You know what I mean? Like, but I, you know, and as you know, because I have yelled at you. Like I could yell. You know, like I went into that same kind of like father mode. You know, like it's like I just got mad like at you know for somebody because I asked him nicely don't touch you know please put it down don't touch it and then he kept giving excuses. I'm like no I'm gonna you know like I'm gonna do you a favor, I'm gonna get you more. I'm like no please don't. And then after a few like don'ts and I have the microphone and always you know like much kind of like Conqueror's Hockey Kahai, you know, where we have influence like over the audience or the people around us, you know. I will say it on the mic. Do not like and that'll get people's attention and hopefully get the bar's attention to like something's going on. You know what I mean? So I still wouldn't put it. Still kept giving excuses, you know. And I just went off on like some guy on mic just because like, hey, you need to learn else. You need to be embarrassed in front of these people. You need to, you know.
It's not okay.
It's not.
Yeah, and it's like it really shouldn't, and hopefully, like I think most people would stop. But I can see where it's like maybe somebody's just like, but if I can just do it and show them that I'm getting them more money,
you
they'll
just
appreciate it. Right? Yeah, so it's like just don't do it. And I think like if you want to support an artist, you know, and do something for them, is like give them a more tip or like just like ask for like encore or you know clap or show your support
or
vocally.
just like or you can go and be like hey everyone tip jar here, you know, like you can do that if you really wanted to. You're like you can probably just draw attention to the jar.
Don't grab it, don't
grab it, don't touch it. You can bring attention to it or whatever, like it's fine. Never ever touch someone else's money.
One of the best things I've seen like to get people to start tipping was my cousin came and normally he's like my biggest heckler, but he came and he had like a roll of ones, started passing it out to people before the gig. And then like he told them like go put it in the jar, and so it was about like 5-6 people.
Nice.
So I mean if you really want to help, like you know there's
That's
other
so cool.
ways. That wasn't on purpose. I had no idea he was doing that.
I think if I was in that situation like and it kept happening, I would make a decoy tip jar and be like, okay, here, you can take this tip jar instead. And then like be like, okay.
No,
even
that's
that,
still,
no.
Because that's still encouraging them.
Yeah, I just don't, it just seems like you're begging for money and like that just doesn't sit right with me, you know?
I would be like, here, you can take this tip jar instead. and there's a paintball in it that will explode if anybody takes anything from it. But like have it be empty or something, right? But it's like I think it's the same thing too, where it's like de-escalate with a joke first, like yeah. So it's
Yeah,
just okay, like just don't. Yeah, it shouldn't be a thing. So just don't touch it, and then if it has to keep going,
I just don't touch it. Yeah,
there
so
were a couple
tried.
more
Oh.
questions
Yeah.
related to that. It
Okay,
was
okay,
like,
go ahead.
Kristen Sue asked, can you put a tip in the jar and take change? That's a,
That was
You can ask.
yeah.
You could be like, "Hey, I only have a 20, but I want to tip you like 10. Is it like could you give me $10?" You could ask. You just ask the musician. I
or
think
you
that
could
would
go
be
to the
fine.
bar.
Or you could go to the bar. Or you
Yeah,
could go to the bar.
I would probably go to the bar and
but
have
never
them
just
break
do it.
Yeah.
Never
yeah.
just do it. You could ask you could ask the musician, but don't do it yourself. The musician will take the 10 or whatever and give you change if you have to go that direction. But Aaron's right. Just go to the bar and ask for change. That's usually what I tell people. Like, just go ask them for whatever. But yeah,
Actually, that's happened to me. Friday.
yeah.
It was like the guy came straight from the airport and he just had hundreds, and like and it was like towards the end of the night, and so like the bar had already cashed out and everything, and so he was pretty polite about it. He's like, "This is gonna be really weird, but I want to tip you. I only have hundreds." He's like, "Is it okay like for change?"
I only have these.
Yeah, it's like I have $2. There you go. But yeah, but then he kind of gave me the hundreds, stood back, and I was okay with like that's fine, because he made it a point to come and kind of explain, be really
Yeah.
I think that's like I think it's like Key and Peele or something where it's like they have the offering this stuff going around the church, and then somebody's like, oh, and they put in $1, but then they take out 5. It's like that's why you don't want to like people.
Yeah.
You shouldn't like just put it in and just like say, oh, I'm just gonna take something, because we don't know what you're taking out or whatever, right? So yeah.
Yeah. What was the other one?
Or just gigging in general. Like, how does someone break into the gigging world? Like, what are like the baby steps to get in?
Kyle, go ahead. It's specifically you. It says, Kyle, how does someone break into the
Oh, it does.
Yeah,
I thought you were jumping. I can't see from here. Oh, that's a good question. I mean, so I guess it depends on where you are, and like what type of like music communities around your area. Because I found like Kauai has just been, it's so different from the other places I've been. Even though like I kind of started here, it's been different since then. Over here it was kind of like I filled in a couple nights, and then the hotel or whatever, the restaurant, they're like, oh, you really good, like if we have an opening, can we call you, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Other places is like I would literally have to like cold call and just be like, hey, I'm a musician in the area, blah blah blah, here's my YouTube channel, what do you like, let me know. I could do a night for free, see what you think. If you don't like it, I won't come back. If you do like it, we can talk.
Yeah.
That's probably the best thing, is like have something that you can point them towards so they can see how good of a performer you are.
Yeah. And I mean, like if you have like a place in mind that has live music, then like maybe like show up, a couple nights, kind of, make yourself known. Like you don't have to show up like for a year straight and then ask, but like kind of get to know some people, and then, maybe see if you can talk to whoever's the director of, booking or whatever.
You mentioned that you like filled in for a couple people. Like, were those musicians that you knew like just personally? And
that's a good question too. Yeah, it was some friends that that needed a fill in, but then a couple were just because I had gone and put my name in at a couple of the hotels, and then they, whether the hotel gave the person who needed coverage my number, or if the hotel called me personally. Or directly, not personally, but yeah. So there's a lot of different ways to go about it. There's also a lot of wrong ways to go about it too. But those are the ways I would recommend. Just you know,
Yeah.
because
Okay.
It's good to just kind of put yourself out
Yeah,
there
it's-
and do like, hey, I'll do a night for free. Like if you don't like it, then you don't like it. You
Yeah,
know what
it's
I mean?
like-
like it's good.
you're building a relation. It's kind of like
Yeah.
dating, you know.
Because you can't just expect somebody to like, you know, to take a chance on you, like, and
Yeah.
pay like X amount of dollars to be
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
oh man, that was a big waste of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it could happen, but it's not likely, and then it's less likely to happen if you're just like, yeah, you should pay me to play here or whatever. If you say
Yeah.
like, I'll just play here for free,
Yeah.
you guys don't need to pay me, then
Yeah.
they'll be like, oh yeah, that's no skin off our back, right?
Yeah.
Like that's just one rate or whatever.
The way that I do it, I call them and I go, hi, my name is Kale Gamiao. You feel free to look me up. Feel free to look me up. Just it's KALEIGAMIAO. Feel free to look that up, okay?
Specifically, look for these videos where my shirt is really tight. And
Yeah,
my muscles
sorry.
are
I
popping
mean,
up.
I'm kind of unrecognizable now because I gained a bunch of pounds. But you know what? That's a whole nother thing. Okay, I don't even want to talk about it. Okay, but yeah. So just let me know. You know, like if you want to hire me. And once again, feel free to look me up. The name is Kale Gamiao.
I was part of a group called Iron Mango, and
Yeah.
I just ate too much mangoes. So
That's it. That's it. It was actually made of iron, and it just my body couldn't process it, and just
These are veneers.
you know. So it's just I look a lot different now.
and on Oahu, Kalei is like, look me up. My name is Aldrine Guerrero.
Ew. That's how he loses gigs.
oh no, never mind. Okay, and then Veg said, same person, but
Yeah.
they said, for someone new to gigging, is there something wrong with writing a list of songs to choose from instead of random?
Oh, no, that's fine.
No,
that's fine. That's
absolutely
fine.
not.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
So-
actually
so
good. That's
that's-
actually pretty
yeah.
good. Yeah.
That's for like audience requests, I'm guessing.
Yeah, so if they
what-
just
that's what
maybe
he's
have
saying.
a list next to the tip jar.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
maybe
yeah,
that might be good. Put it next to the
Yeah.
tip jar and say like, here are a bunch of songs I know. You know.
This
Yeah.
is how much they cost.
Exactly.
You
For
can get them
your-
a la carte.
For your tasting pleasure, you can try these amuse bouche songs.
Yeah. I recommend the flights, the flight of Beatles songs.
This one pairs really well with the Eagles.
But not something. Or it's like, but not Blackbird.
Not Revolution 9.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of a fun idea. I think I'm just gonna like print
have a
out
list.
all the songs I know. Just be like, all right, these are the $5 songs, the $10 songs.
You ever done like karaoke where you just like
Yeah,
pick
yeah,
what
yeah.
song you want to do? Kind of like that. Just have like a catalog, you know, in the front and just dude, that Veg, that's actually a pretty good idea.
Yeah, and then
It's kind of cool.
and those songs, right, where
Yeah.
it's like, you know, people are gonna ask for it or whatever, like
Yeah.
Freebird or whatever, then you can just put like $1,000 or something
Yeah.
ridiculous next to it. And if somebody says Freebird, you just like point to the menu and be like, it's right here, buddy. If you want,
We're fresh out of the Freebird. Sorry.
make a
Yeah.
like the what is it, like the sticky like tape that they put on where it's like, oh sorry, we're out. or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
Sold out.
sold out
Yeah.
of the Freebird. My bad. So
Yeah, but also like don't feel obligated to grant requests.
take them. You can just say no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you just say no.
And I think it's like you said, right? Like that's also a good option for like when somebody gives you a tip and they're expecting something, or they say, "Can you play this song?"
Yeah.
Then you can just go like, "Oh, what about these songs? I know
Yeah.
these songs to play
Yes,
from."
I do that too. It's like, okay, I don't know that one, but how about this? You know, like usually from the same artist and stuff. There's one. I'm pretty sure they don't listen to the podcast, so maybe I just tell this thing. We have somebody that comes, and we love this person. You know, who comes all the time. He brings her friends and stuff. But there's one particular friend who asks for a song that I just not a big fan of. I mean, like, and like they'll do it. They'll go up to the tip jar. They'll put $1 in there. $1. Okay, $1. And ask for a song. And it's a song that you don't want to play. Do you play it? Because they're friends with someone you really you do like. But then and then every single time this person comes to the show, puts $1 for you to play that one song. And say you're towards the end of the show, right? And you're playing these like, you know,
You're
you
ramping it
ramped
up
it up
to-
or whatever, and then bam, Hele on to Kauai, Kyle. $1. I put money in there, so you should play that song. How do you handle that? Go.
Honestly, at that point, like if I'm in the middle, you know, of everything, I'll just politely say, "Oh no, sorry, I don't know that song," or I'm not gonna play it.
What do you mean you don't know that
And then
song? I heard you play
but
that
then
song
I'll
last week.
continue with talking about like finish like introducing like, you know, where I am in my set. I'll be like, "Oh no, sorry. Anyway, blah 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 blah."
Yeah, go
I'm
back
like,
to
"Hey, Margaret
Like it's
Deville."
like
addressing the audience.
I've said no politely. 9 times out of 10 is like they won't even remember that I said no the next day.
Oh, they do. they do.
That's the 1 out of
They
10.
do. They do.
I
That's
do
the
not get
one.
that one.
I don't even care if it's like in the beginning of my set, because at this point you've asked for it 5 weeks in a row in an inappropriate time of the set. So I just don't want to play that song anymore. Even though I like that song, I'm just like, you know what? No thanks.
Yeah.
It's $1. So and then, you know, because it becomes a thing, and I'm like, and this person just doesn't stop. So I'm like, you know what? If you're gonna keep doing that, you're gonna become part of the show then, you know. So and so I called it out.
Yeah.
I was like, not for $1, dude. You know what I mean? Like, just no shame. Like, wait, what song? Hele on to Kauai? Like, we're right at the end. We're about to play some hard hitting songs, and you're asking for Hele on to Kauai for $1, dude.
That's at least a $50 song.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like, if you're gonna interrupt the flow, like, you gotta put at least $2 in there. It's like, here's $2.
At least
no, well, and then it becomes a meme. You know what I mean? Like, in the show, it then becomes a meme where, like, haha, there's that $1 guy again. You know, and then so he puts $5 next time.
and I think that's something interesting, is because a lot of people, you know, like they don't understand that there is like a certain rhyme or reason to the certain songs
that you play
picked in the set. And I mean, like, maybe like some of the gigs they go to is just like background music, like dinner music, which like they'll probably play it, you know, like if you ask them, because it's just like it's kind of like a jukebox, you know, just like you know, this song,
that's what they're treating it like.
But then if, you know, like, because you put on a show, you know, and like, and a show usually has like, it's like a flow, and if like they'll come in with something that doesn't really fit that flow, it can, like, you can feel the momentum in the room just kind of die. You know, like all the attention.
And I'm trying to put the show together so I can get tips. So if the show abruptly goes down, like takes a nosedive, and you're gonna try to build it up again, and then here it comes with a second request. And it's happened so many times. I'm like, oh my god, like, I just gotta say no, because at first I'm like, yo, out of respect for your friend who I really like, you know, I guess we'll entertain it, you know. And then it just becomes like a thing where I'm like, oh my god, give a mouse a cookie, you know.
I think and it's hard, like, from the audience perspective, they probably think like, oh, this is, I know we talked before too, like, people will come and they'll be like, can you play Somewhere Over the Rainbow, because I'm in Hawaii and that's like my favorite Hawaiian song and I want to hear it here while I'm here, right? But then it's like, sorry, like, it's in the middle of the show, like, I don't want to just like stop and play this, right?
I don't typically play it.
I mean, us neither. And when we do, Aaron does the Judy Garland version of that song. It's just so, I don't know, like, nothing against the song, like, at all. But I feel like, you know, like you said, we try to put on a show. You know what I mean? Like, we put on a show, and it's just one of those, like, we want you to be able to have this experience, and we want you to leave the show going like, man, no, like, he played a lot of like unexpected songs that I would never have like thought would sound good in ukulele, and like. And I also don't want to play like songs that you could probably just hear in the next bar over. You know what I mean? Like, so stuff like Hele on to Kauai, or like, or Somewhere Over the Rainbow, or like even Island Side, things like that, where like you could probably like throw a rock, you know, like, and you'll hit a musician playing that song right now, you know, like somewhere like on Kauai, and so I don't want to, like, I only have 2 hours worth of material to be able to convince you that this is like, I'm so glad I went to this one and not like any of the other ones, because I got a unique experience, you know?
Because like, I feel like Somewhere Over the Rainbow is a song where it's like they're not really wanting to hear your version of it.
Yeah, they want to hear. Yes,
They want to
yes.
hear the
It's like-
original version.
They want to hear,
which
yeah,
you
it
won't
is.
even get close to.
But but at the same time, is like the rest of the songs in your set is like that has your own little touch on it.
Yes, yes.
You know, even if you're trying to make it sound like, you know, how like the record or whatever, like there's still something that
Yeah.
you bring that adds to it. Whereas Somewhere Over the Rainbow, it feels like it's such on a pedestal.
Yeah.
Like anybody that does it is just kind of like a step below.
Yeah.
But I get it. The tourists that come to Hawaii, I get it. It's like an itch you gotta scratch. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you see an ukulele player, like playing live. We get it, and that's why we just politely say no.
Yeah, and then that's also the thing too with anybody who requests songs, right? They're like, "This is my favorite song," or "This song has such like a deep and meaningful meaning to me." But then it's like, sorry, like it doesn't have the same meaning to me, so I know that I can't perform it to your expectations.
So like I know that song. Like I mean, and I can kind of fumble around and play, but I'm not gonna fumble around on stage. Like it's just a song that they don't actively practice. You know, like I don't hate the song. I do kind of know how to play it. I do know the lyrics, but not enough like on the spot to be able to do it. Just because I choose not to.
Or
do
to
it, you
or
know?
to knock it out of the park, which you would
'Cause, like,
want to.
Because say I have given in sometimes. There was that one week where like where we got it's $1,000 week, like $1,000 tip week, where I was like, you know what, I'm gonna play whatever. I'll take on all the requests, and I had my phone and I played it, like pretty much to the T. Played the chords, the lyrics, just like how is Kamaka Vivo they would do it, and they clapped, but it wasn't like a kind of reaction if I played my own stuff. So it's one of those, like, it's such a throwaway, and I hate to say it, like 4 hour set is like kind of a throwaway song because there's no spin on it that we could do that people will be satisfied with.
Yeah, or like when Aaron does it in the Judy Garland version.
That's our spin, but it's to them it's just like, that's not what I wanted. You know what I mean? Like it's so there's no spin on the is version that we can put that would make it worthwhile even. And like I'm gonna be honest with everybody. I'm not like the greatest vocalist, like, so I'm not gonna come close to that is version that you've you probably listened to over and over and over and over before coming to Hawaii, and you're just like, okay, well, I requested it, but he was actually not that great. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want you thinking that. Like, I think that's not the kind of reaction or the impression that I want to give to people.
Yeah, and I think people in the audience think like, oh, once he starts playing it, it's gonna sound so good, and everybody's gonna get into it. But it's like you said, right? Like the flow of like the set or where it's going is like, no, like this, it's not really the time for that song, right? Like it's we're either building up or we're building down to something else.
Yeah, and I think that's something that is missed on just the general public, is that when you have someone trying to put on a show, it's a very it's like an experience as a whole. It's not just little
I find that
one-offs.
Because I know what playing music is like. When I tip when I tip artists, I just give them the money and I'm like, play whatever you want, like, because I just want to hear you, right? I don't need to hear something. But now I know to go to Kyle's show and to ask very specifically for things.
I'm gonna ask for Somewhere With a Rainbow, Helion to Kauai. Yeah, no, it's just that. It's just like, I like Helion, but like he would always ask for it towards the end of the set, and it just no fail he would ask for it, and it made me kind of resented, so I would just not want to play it at all, or like we're trying to ramp it up. Like you could have asked for it like the first 30 minutes where we're just kind of like trying to lay the groundwork, but then no, they would wait until like the peak of the show to ask for it, and it's just like, no, please don't do this. Like I thought, because this it happens like several weeks like at a time, that they would kind of get the idea, but come to find out they can't.
Yeah, and sometimes you just
medically can't.
There is no reasoning with people sometimes.
Yeah, so that it's just, you can say no. That's kind of it. Like you can just say like no.
Did we answer the question? I don't even know what the question was.
We did.
The question was like, or at least Aaron was talking about, like, and we added on to it that like you can. It's nice to say. It's okay to say no.
Oh yeah.
And the question was the lists. Remember the set lists? Like,
yes.
more than okay.
And Ori said it really depends on what type of artist you are. I personally don't do covers or requests, and I know
Mr. Fourth Horseman over here with his original songs.
I know you also don't you, like when you're at the beginning you say like, oh, we're gonna do requests. Oh, no requests. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah,
That's
I
like
try
a
to
good
bat you
joke.
to do that trick where like, all right, everyone, any requests? No, okay, good. All right, let's here's my next song. You know what I mean? Like it's just to get a laugh from people and stuff.
Yeah, one of the lines I use is like if I say sorry, like I don't know that song, and then I'll just go like, with the request, I apologize. I only pretend like I know everything. I don't really.
No, I always just use Aaron as a scapegoat. I was like, hey, I know it, but Aaron, do you know it?
Yeah.
You know, you
Yeah.
don't. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we kind of need to
man.
know it
Oh.
together. in
Yeah, we
order
gotta
to-
know it together. I'm so sorry. I know Freebird. Like, I would love to play Freebird. Aaron, this guy.
And that
I
comment,
always throw Aaron under the bus.
but I like when Aaron's under the bus. But then with that comment, I think it also depends on like the venue too, of like originals versus covers.
I guess so. Yeah.
I feel like where I play at like the bar, like no one cares about my original songs.
Yes.
I mean, like they like if I can set it right, then maybe. But it's like they're not there to hear.
Yeah.
They're not there to experience. Like the artist's interpret. Whatever experience. It's
Yeah,
like they just want a good time.
And I almost like, when somebody asks for an original song, I'm like, are you sure? I
think-
Yeah.
But if they pay for if you put on a concert or like
Yeah.
advertise it as a show, they pay
Yes.
tickets. Like they're expecting they expect you. But when they see live music or whatever, it's like
Yeah, if you're at a bar, you want to
Yeah.
hear bar songs. You know?
Yeah.
Like you don't want to be drinking to other people's sorrow songs.
Yeah.
Already,
Me, the night that me and Aaron went, I think one guy did ask you for an original, right? And you were kind of like, I have one original that I can do. I guess I'll do it. But even that, you're like, yeah,
Too Bang Bang. You
it's
got
so-
it, right? Did you write that song?
bro, I wish I wrote that song.
You Too Bang. Don't look that up.
If I wrote that song, man, like I wouldn't have to worry about tips, It's like, oh.
No, it was the spandex song. Yeah.
oh yeah.
Kyle has a great song that is like a love song to clothing.
Oh, hey. Yeah.
How it makes me feel.
Yeah.
But I think that the tip of where like you should kind of play it to the environment too is right. And you mentioned that like before you start gigging or before you just like cold call the place and say like, hey, can I play for you guys? Go there and see what it's like, right?
Yeah.
Get a feel for
Yeah.
like
Yeah, and it comes down to like your own personal expectation, I think. Like, I mean, you can also be too much on one side where it's just like, oh well, I'm not gonna play any place unless I can play my own.
Yeah.
Because that's not really realistic if
No.
you're just trying to break out. But at the
Yeah.
same time, it's like, oh well, maybe try to find venues where you can kind of mix in originals with cover songs. Because there's places like maybe not so much at a bar or a hotel.
Like,
Yeah.
open
if you're
mics
playing an
would
open
be-
mic, it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, open mic
They would
or
love
like
that.
even like smaller venues like a coffee shop or like a smaller restaurant where you can kind of create more of an intimate space, because when you do an original song, it's an intimate thing that you know.
want people to be listen. If you wrote a song, you want to share it to people. You want people to actively be listening to your lyrics, listening to your melodies and stuff. And you know what I mean? Like that's just kind of a respect to you and your art. You want to be able to to feature your art where it's appreciated. But if it's just like in a room full of people eating and drinking, like they're gonna focus on eating and drinking, especially if they don't recognize like the piece of music.
Yeah,
You
and
know
I
what
mean, like there is something I think for me that like kind of satisfies, like just even if I'm doing cover songs, maybe like songs I don't necessarily want to do, but I know that would go well with the environment.
Yeah.
It's something like when you can create this just kind of space where people forget about whatever for 2 hours.
You think we like playing Purple Rain? We do. I love that song. No, but I think if you're playing a gig where you're like a featured artist, like on a card or like a concert and stuff, you gotta play some kind of original song to make sure that people know you as an artist, not as a cover artist. But if you're playing for a bar, you're playing for a restaurant, mainly to be like background music.
That's Yeah, that's also a point, right, where it's like, what is your intention?
Yeah.
And what are what are you counting as a success? Is it like that I got out there and more people know me? Or is like, I play the music that the crowd really liked and they responded really well to me?
Yeah.
I think
place and time.
what makes a difference too is like, are you doing this, like, are you trying to make a living out of this, or are you just doing this on the side, like as a personal thing? Because
It's true.
if you're trying to make a living, and you have too much pride as a musician, you're not going to get any gigs.
No.
And you know,
You got to play what's
rent kind of trumps pride sometimes, you know. So like
I'll
sometimes
play
you gotta,
somewhere over the rainbow.
yeah, like sometimes you gotta take those gigs where it's just like, somewhere over the rainbow. I'll do all the Hawaiian that I don't feel comfortable me
to
singing.
coin, everybody.
I don't think I'm gonna sound good, but I'll do it, you know, because you're paying me how much? Yeah, I'll do it.
Or it's like, because even if you're doing a bar gig and you're getting tips, but you don't take requests, like after an amount of time, like the staff will probably be like, oh, they don't really do, like, they don't interact with the audience, or they don't like you take any suggestions or anything. So like,
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, so it's
Or I mean, you got to think about it like from the whoever is
Audience,
employing you.
Oh, yeah.
Think about it from their perspective. Like if you're at a restaurant.
Yeah.
The restaurant wants people to either stay or like buy more drinks or more food.
Yeah.
If you can do anything with your show that keeps people around, or maybe like does there's more turnover so that they can make more money.
Yeah, so
like if you make them more money, then they're gonna keep you around.
Yeah.
No matter
Or
what.
if you like don't play, if you play 1 week, right, and you don't play the next week, and then people come and they're like, oh man, I really wanted to see Kyle. Then the bar's gonna be like, oh yeah, we should have Kyle.
Yeah, we should have
on.
Kyle. Why don't we have Kyle right now?
Yeah.
Someone wants to see it.
Yeah, so you can do that in different ways. You don't have
Yeah.
to grant
Yeah.
requests in order to do that. If your show is like engaging and entertaining enough, then you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
But
If
as
you're-
long as the restaurant is getting what it wants, or the venue is getting what it wants.
Because I think if you can like not take requests or do like the song menu or whatever, but you're making that personal connection with the audience, right?
Yeah.
Where they'll want to come back to see you in particular, then that'll like tell the restaurant that it's like, oh yeah, they're a good performer, or they're somebody that we should have on regularly.
yeah.
What are some other things that happen like during your gigs? That what are some icks? Maybe that. What are some icks that
Ooh,
people
I had
do or
one
whatever? What
where
are some icks?
so because mine's more of a well, you guys play at Johnny's.
Yeah.
I don't know how it is at Johnny's, but like at Kalapaki Joe's is like
sports bar.
sports bar, and so like
Yeah.
people are drinking, they're having a good time, and then one of the you try to make a relationship with the audience because you want it to be a good time.
Yeah.
And then like some of the things that can happen is they feel like they're closer than they really are, you know? So like touching the tip jar, you know, that's one thing. There's another thing where they try to take your microphone. That's one thing. I'm just like,
huge ick of mine. Yes,
or like if they
yes,
try to
yes.
like come sing with you, you know, it's like, again, this isn't karaoke night.
That's probably where it's like too much, where they're trying to be like a part of the show, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know you, like,
And it's like they get so lost in like having such a good time, you know, the alcohol's flowing too, which please drink responsibly. And I don't mean keeping track of how much money you spend on alcohol. And
that is a huge ick. I mean, what I hate is like I usually close my eyes, when I play and stuff. I hate when somebody like, I don't know, like sneaks up behind me and puts like their arm, like, you know, like that's happened many times, and I'm just like, oh, like, and it could be someone I like, you know what I mean? But it's just like, please don't do that. Like, just, I don't know, and I hate, maybe what icks me. There you go. Maybe that's such a strong word. You know what I mean? What's another ick is like when you're blatantly trying to film. Like when you say they have their phone and they go right in front of the audience, you know, and like blocking the people's view.
Yeah.
Like that's not cool. Like it's for everybody. You know what I mean? Like I get it, or whatever, but try to film from a spot like where you're not bothering people.
Yeah.
And another one is like, you know, like there's like kind of a divider, you know, like where we are at Oasis, and then where like the audience is at, you know. So people will like crawl like or come through the back and stuff, and then like and try to, and like, what are you filming like in my, you know, from the back? Like what? Why are you don't do that? Like it just Yeah,
it's really
don't
like
be creepy. That's
like this
creepy.
like this overall thing of just like knowing your boundaries.
Yes, it's
like
personal space.
Yeah, like
personal space.
because again, it's like a relationship. Like
Yeah.
I don't know you like that. Even if you do, you know, it's like
wait till after the show
Yeah,
or come talk to me
yeah.
after the show.
And whereas like people grab the mic or they try to perform or do stuff, right? Like it's like you probably for your guys' show, you guys might have brought on somebody like Mike or something to play one song, right?
Yeah.
But then it's like I know that person. Like we're obviously
Yeah.
friends. I don't know you. Like even and I know like people will be like, but I'm a great musician. I can jump in. It's like I have no idea. I don't know what
Yeah.
to do.
Wait till
sorry.
somebody asks you, maybe, you know, if they ask you, if you do know them, you know.
Like afterwards, after the show, I would love to jam with you or play music or see what you can do, but not like during where just like let me show you what I can do.
Yeah. Again, it's just
Jump
like
onto the
those
stage.
those boundaries that like people just don't see. You know,
Have you
even like physical boundaries? You know,
yeah. Have you had somebody like that, you know, were like, oh, I want to come up, and then came up and they were terrible? And
Yes.
then they come back the next day. Hey, can I come up again? Remember last week? Can I come up again? What do you do?
Looks like Kyle has experienced that.
then I would like I would lie and just say like, oh, sorry, the restaurant said cannot. Like they're only paying me.
Throw the restaurant under the bus.
Well, I mean, like
That's sort of what they're
to
there
some
for.
extent, it's like it is like a liability thing
Yeah.
because like you know this is my equipment.
Right,
this is
right.
you know like and we have the
It's like
like agreement that you know like I'm working here you know because it's like any job you know like
that's true.
you work in construction, you're not just gonna pull some guy just because he says he has you know experience doing
jackhammer
concrete
skills,
yeah, come
It's
work
like,
with me.
like we don't have liability and so it's
true.
like maybe not as legal you know like
Yeah, that's
paperwork
true,
is
that's
that but it's still like the same type of mindset to me you
Yeah.
know?
So who's that in your set? Is he on right now? Can I?
I'm. You could have just told me, Kyle, that I sang that song bad. Oh, God.
I tried to work on it.
So hurtful.
We have this guy that comes in, Kyle Farouk show, and he's just like, nah.
Okay,
Told me
guys,
you knew how to do it. Okay.
good podcast. Getting out of here. Just joking.
Yeah, no, it's sometimes it happens, and like
That was good.
I how do I say this? Like on Thursday I play with Kaniho, and Kaniho is like the like just the nicest, most open guy ever, and he'll just let anybody like you know go and do stuff. But I sometimes have to tell him like, dude, you can't have just anyone come up and just like just play, dude.
Yeah.
You can't just have anybody come up and play, you know. And but you know what I mean? It's tough because Thursday that is his gig, so I can't be like, oh no.
Yeah.
And oh my god, like it's terrible, you know. Like,
Yeah, and it's a difference of just like you know, are you trying to create that experience through like the set, or like is it like you know, are you trying to create like oh you know like I have friends you know come up sing you know
Because
Whatever.
like when you bring somebody up and they sing with you, right, or they play with you, it is a reflection of if you're employed by the venue or whatever. It's like, oh, that's what they're gonna do, or like that's who they bring up, right? So it's like,
yeah, because on a particular gig, you know, in the so in a particular gig,
leave it there
because I just don't know like who's watching,
I know what you mean.
But yeah, so there's a person who's who will play harmonica, you know, like and like you know they like say I'm not the one singing, my partner is singing and they sing, so the harmonica player has to use my microphone like to put on his harmonica. You know, I notoriously like kiss the mic, you know what I mean, and just all that harmonica spit is just going into my microphone, and I'm like not a big fan, you know. And yeah, you know what I mean. Like, just not a big fan. Just I don't know. That's why like you know Aaron has his mic, I have my microphone, and I you know just because I notoriously like to just get really close and kiss the mic, like that's just my thing, you know. I don't like to do it if someone else uses my mic in that set, then I just get kind of weary. And then the whole thing like falls
even if
apart.
you don't touch the microphone, like if like you know like there's spit is going on, like you can smell it.
you
That's the gross part, like not just
Sorry, Kyle.
not just the mental part, but you can smell it, and it's like like, yeah.
So you know,
Ew.
like, so
Yeah.
how do you deal with that? Did you just say no?
I make it.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
like,
throw
I'll try
the,
just-
you throw the place under the bus.
Well, I told them
have
too.
yet-
I'm like, hey, I'm gonna use you guys. They're like, yeah, do whatever.
I've yet to throw Aaron under the bus and down. I'm like, you know what? I like you, but I've never used that.
I do find like if I say like it's a liability thing,
Yeah,
like
I
it's
guess so.
legal jargon, but it's really just say like I don't want to be responsible if you slip and fall while you're singing. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very valid. Very valid.
And so I mean it's just like another thing. It's just like just don't
Yeah.
do that.
I think because like when you tell people like, or when they come up and they say, oh, can you play the song, and you say, oh, I know the song but Aaron doesn't, right? And how Aaron reacts too, where he's like, just like, sorry or whatever.
Aaron, like, so the thing is, Aaron can pick up like on my, like on the kind of vibes, like telepathically almost that I'm trying to like to give to Aaron. I'm like, just say no.
Yeah, he's not gonna be like, what do you mean? I know that song. It's like,
So if it's a good venue,
no, you don't.
And you tell the person like, oh, sorry, like, yeah, the venue won't let me do that, or it's like the venue. They'll probably the venue workers will probably be like, oh yeah, sure, they'll have your back, and
Right.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, like don't do that or whatever.
Yeah, I just get grossed out. Sorry.
Have you ever had someone like when they come up and they ask you to play or whatever, that's in your control. You can say no.
Yeah.
Have you ever had someone just in the middle of the crowd just get up and start playing an instrument with you guys?
No. What?
I think
Tell us about that.
Tell us about
I
it.
had some guy like
Let's end this. Let's end the podcast with this story.
I couldn't do anything. Like it was it was a guy who had come like once or twice, and then just I guess the next time he just sat like kind of like in the back, like back half of the.
I just want you to say, I wanna meet you. Like it just in the back.
He brought his violin.
What?
And like if you've ever heard a violin, like they're pretty loud.
Yeah.
That's why you can play them without microphones and stuff on a stage. He just starts playing.
Oh.
And I didn't know what to do.
Shame owl.
What did you do?
Doesn't even live here anymore.
What? And at the time, because it's the first and only time it's happened since. And I was just kind of so like dumbfounded. I'm like, I couldn't believe this is happening.
Yeah.
Because it's never crossed my mind.
Yeah.
And so like I'm just looking at this guy.
Yeah.
And just playing, and I guess eye contact was the wrong thing to do because he thought we were having a moment. And then so he locks eyes and just starts just like playing, and I'm like, and then I kind of stop and I go, okay, I'm gonna take like a 5-minute break. Went to the bathroom, came back, and I'm just like played it off, like just pretend like it didn't happen.
Did he come back when you came back? Did he
No.
start playing again? No.
No.
Oh, okay, you caught the hint.
I don't know. I have no idea. Because then like
You
in
could
the
still
middle,
be out there.
because in
You
the
could
middle of
jump
the
on
set,
stage at any time.
middle of the set, he just left.
Oh.
So like, you just played like one song. I went away. He came back, or I came back. He was there for like 10 minutes and just left.
Yeah, I think we gotta have Mike on because I think he has a similar story where somebody came to their show with a bass and plugged in and started playing. So I think he said that he just put his bass down and went and sat in the crowd. And just,
It's like, oh, this is your gig now.
Okay, yeah.
I'm still getting paid.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, this.
And
I'm like,
and
Handled it like a pro.
Still shell shocked from that.
I feel like all these stories. I'm just kind of like,
No, this is a safe
So,
space.
yeah.
Like, I shared some stuff that I hope nobody, hope some people don't hear.
because Brother Sam said that happens all the time.
Oh,
And
yeah?
he says guys would show up with guitar in tow.
Oh my
Oh my
goodness.
gosh.
Well, and the reason why is like because like I have a gig tonight.
I'm
And
sorry
so,
about
like,
it,
I'm like,
Sam.
ooh.
I did go to a Vaihi show with Joe.
It was
and Chris and
Aldrine.
folks, and I did have my ukulele like with me, but not to like to play because I just had it fixed, So I did come to a Vaihi show with my ukulele in hand.
Brought his own amp, plugged it in at the side wall, and
Oh,
just started
sorry, I
playing.
just got this fixed. I just wanted to make sure it sounded good. No.
Well,
But,
like play all over the parts that you're supposed to be playing.
yeah.
The reason why we know all these stories is because we've all done this.
I mean, I think even if you go to your guys' show, right, with a uke, I like going to your guys' show with a uke because afterwards we'll hang out and we'll jam. After.
Yeah.
But during your show, it's like even that, don't like just play along too.
Yeah.
Like let the performance.
Yeah,
play,
the
too.
best thing I think. Well, I know he said last thing, but the best thing that makes me feel good, probably for most musicians, is just showing up and treating it like a normal concert. Like if you went to a concert, that's the best thing.
I think we should treat it like you ever watch wrestling and people buy those replica belts and like they bring the replica belts like to the wrestling show that they go to. I think the rule should be if you're gonna bring a belt, you better defend that belt. You know, so if you bring a ukulele, you better be ready to plug that thing in and defend yourself. You know, like we're gonna battle.
Combat. It becomes a duel.
That being said, bring it on.
So the little kid who comes like, I just want you to sign my uke. He's like, nope, you gotta plug that thing in. Plug that thing in. Yeah, play. I am gonna beat the crap out of you, kid, right now. Let's 251 and C. All right, let's go. See what this kid's made of.
Dueling ukuleles.
My friend's grandma.
Can I make that the thumbnail? I'm gonna beat the crap out of you, kid. That's the one for the thumbnail. Aura said that's like going to a bar and selling beers out of your cooler. Yeah. Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we've had that happen. People like on people on our website, Ukulele Underground, the forums. It's a website called Ukulele Underground, which is a forum where we teach. And people will go and say like, hey, I teach over here. It's like hated it so much during the time of the forums. Like it's people like promoting their own stuff in like, so it's like, hey everyone, here at Starbucks, like I too sell coffee.
Yeah, it's like unsolicited.
Yeah.
Like you go on someone's YouTube page going, or like if you had somebody else's concert trying to sell your own music, it's basically in that same avenue. Except it may not seem like it to some people, but it is.
Yeah. I dare you to make it.
I don't know.
Like a thumb that door.
Wait, what did that say?
I mean, because it could be bad taken out of context. I'm gonna read the crap out of you, kid.
The thumbnail. The thumbnail. Yeah. I was just joking.
Out of context, that'd be bad, Yoda.
Yeah. So speaking of going on somebody's show and saying stuff, Kyle, don't say anything about where people can find you, and we're just okay. Good night, everybody. No. Where can people find you, Kyle? Kalapaki Joe's. You mentioned earlier. When?
Oasis at 2:30 on Wednesday. No, I'm just kidding.
Look up Kyle Ferruccio. KALEIEAL.
Feel free to look it up. Where can they find you?
So I'm currently playing only at Kalapaki Joe's for the time being. Mondays and Fridays. 5 to 7. 7's a loose number. Depending like if my friends show up, I'll play a little longer, but usually 5 to 7. So.
Nice. Kyle actually does Hana Hose.
I'll do Hana Hose, but then you don't get to pick the song after that.
Oh, sorry. Like that's what I'll do. Like, then we like turn off all the stuff. Like,
I will do that if I'm just tired. I'm just like,
late.
Sorry.
My bad. Yeah.
But yeah. So tonight,
Monday,
5 to 7.
Yeah. You guys want to go? What are you guys doing tonight?
Editing the podcast. Editing out all the things.
School today. Oh, no. Not the school. Oh, sorry, Kyle. I wanted to go. No.
I don't even want to go.
No. Any other days? Mondays and what?
Just Mondays and Fridays.
Mondays and Fridays.
Yeah.
So Friday, what do we do on Fridays?
Same.
Sorry, Kyle. We didn't want to do it. We didn't want to go.
You
Sorry.
have your own gigs.
No, we have the school now.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the school goes from like 3 to
Academy.
6 o'clock. The academy, not a school. The academy. You learn things.
Yeah.
You learn important things and good things. Yeah, right. Have you been to the academy? No, you're gigging at that time.
Yeah. That's why I'm here at the podcast. Because we can't hang out during the evening.
So, any business to attend to, Kahai?
The song was just put out.
Yeah, Breakfast at Tiffany's. Go check it out. All right, can people expect something from you or no?
Should be. I'm planning on it on
Okay,
the
the
15th.
15th?
Depends on how
Okay.
nice they are to him.
Yeah, it'll be nice to hi everybody, so you can get a UU Plus solo that goes on the 15th. Make sure to check out shop.ukuleleunderground.com. Shop.ukuleleunderground.com. We have tons of new stuff in there, which is just one shirt but tons of colors, including tie-dye. We have tie-dye shirts now.
Oh.
Ukulele Underground and embroidered Ukulele Underground logo on tie-dye shirts. Pretty awesome. Check it out. Shop.ukuleleunderground.com. We have other things too. You can buy our lessons a la carte or watch all the lessons for a low monthly cost of however much it is now. I haven't looked at it in a while, but UU Plus, sign up for UU Plus. You have access to all our exclusive videos on Ukulele Underground Plus. You're like, oh, what is that? And you're like, you ever watch like free Hulu? It's like, you can watch things and stuff.
No
if you
commercials.
sign up for the monthly, you'll get 2 weeks free. So
Yeah.
sign up.
There you go. You can watch
Try it out.
everything. All this exclusive stuff is included if you sign up for UU Plus, and discounts on private lessons, because private lessons, it's like $90, dude. $90 for half an hour. The audacity of that guy.
What a jerk.
What a but with a UU Plus subscription, it's $60, and your UU Plus subscription is like $20.
Not as much of a jerk
right?
now.
$20 for UU Plus. That's so with that for less than what you would pay for one private lesson from that guy, you could get UU Plus for the whole month and a private lesson for less.
For less than Helion to Kauai, I think.
Yeah, there you go. The day. Yeah. So make sure you check that out. UU Plus. Take your ukulele playing to the next level, right, Kai? You did UU Plus before. I just say that.
Yes.
Yeah. See.
Yes.
What did you learn?
He is on UU
Everything.
Yeah, you were on UU Plus. You taught there. And we still
Featured.
don't you still gotta pay for it every month.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And name some of the things that you learned from UU Plus, Kyle.
I learned how to pick.
Nice.
I learned how to strum.
Yeah. What kind of strum? Shadow.
Fast.
Hey, with that
strumming.
said, now we'll see you folks next time. Have a great week. We'll see you on Friday for our Aloha Friday Live Jam. Thanks so much, Kyle Ferruccio.
Oh, thanks for having
Hey. Let them know on the chat. Throw some emojis. Throw some clap emojis, some heart emojis
All the
along
barf
his
emojis.
way. Yeah, give him, and go if you're ever on the island of Kauai, go to his set and ask for Helion to Kauai. Give him $1. Ask him for Helion to Kauai.
Oh, I was gonna say, go to his set with a bunch of dollars and hand it out to everybody so they can put it in his set.
There you go. Be nice. Be nice. And also,
Tips.
hands off tip jars, everybody. Okay,
Yes.
don't touch tip jars.
Yes.
Take anything from this.
Yeah, please don't. Okay, we'll see you next time. Aloha.